Russian President Vladimir Putin made headlines this week when he announced his country was moving full speed ahead with a coronavirus vaccine, planning to start vaccinations by October. There's a lot of skepticism in the medical community about how effective the Russian vaccine will really be, but it highlights the worldwide race to protect as many people as possible. Still, even when there is a vaccine, how well will it work, and will it really come as soon as we think? Molly Hunter takes a look in our Sunday Focus.
As Russian President Vladimir Putin boasted to the world that his country had produced a vaccine first, announcing plans to vaccinate 30 million Russians in October, scientists from around the world were doubtful.
I hope that the Russians have actually definitively proven that the vaccine is safe and effective. I seriously doubt that they've done that.
The most likely scenario is not a vaccine this fall or even a guaranteed vaccine that's available everywhere and works for everyone.
There is no silver bullet at the moment, and there might never be.
There's never been a successful vaccine brought to market like the types Moderna and Oxford are testing right out of the gate, the two leading candidates. So what if we have to live with the virus? And what does that look like?
I think most scientists would tell you that there is a really good chance that we will have a vaccine at some point. What they can't tell you is how many people it will work for, what types of people it will work for, how often they'll need the vaccine, and what elements of daily life will it allow them to do. We live with viruses, even lethal viruses, and we allow our lives to go on. We don't let it cripple us.
So we can live with this, is what you're saying?
I think one way or the other, we will live with this, and we will minimize the losses in the process.
Now, a lot of the adjustments that we've all been making, including shops and restaurants, allowing fewer people inside, spacing people outside, well, a lot of these adjustments may be here to stay even once we have vaccines.
The vaccine dangled as a promise, a get-out-of-jail-free card, a savior.
We're going to have a vaccine very soon.
The vaccine is going to be a companion technology that'll complement and help improve some of the existing approaches that we're using for control.
So we can't just stop social distancing when that first vaccine is announced, or stop wearing masks, or decide to just go back to normal.
That's right, especially the first vaccines that we're hearing about.
Right now, there are at least 167 vaccines in development, more than 24 in human trials and 3 in phase 3 trials. All approved vaccines must be safe and effective, but that doesn't mean they perform the same. The measles vaccine, for example, is 98% effective, but the flu vaccine most years just 40 to 60% effective. For coronavirus, the FDA will require the vaccine to be at least 50% effective, and by that they mean prevent or reduce its severity in at least 50% of the people that get it.
The bottom line is our first vaccines may not be our best vaccines. Our best vaccines will likely come later. That's why I don't really like using this term race, because it's extremely misleading. If it is any type of a race, it's a several-year marathon.
Molly joins me now. Molly, so once there is a vaccine, hopefully in record time, right? That's not the end. How many people need to actually get it for it to be effective?
That's right, Hallie, a lot. So it's not just the vaccine that could save us, it's the vaccination. And experts say in order to achieve herd immunity, in order to stop this thing in its tracks, we need to achieve 70 to 80% global coverage. We're talking huge numbers of people that need to be vaccinated. A new Gallup survey in America suggests that 1 in 3 Americans won't take the COVID vaccine, Hallie, even if it's approved by the FDA and even if it's free. And for the scientists that I spoke with, that's what keeps them up at night. Hallie?
Molly Hunter. Molly, thank you much. Appreciate it.